We are going to see a video from the subject operations management. So in operation management we have a topic called network diagram in project management, right? So project management is an area where you plan to manage your project, and you use techniques like CPM and PERT to evaluate or estimate the project completion time. So it starts with network diagram. That's why I have planned to give you video in this topic one by one. I have divided into different parts. The first part is introduction to network diagram. Welcome. Let us get into the video. What is a project? So before studying network diagram, so it is essential to know what is a project and what is a project management. I'm going to just touch that, then directly I'm going to get into the network diagram. What is a project? A project is a well-defined set of jobs or tasks, all of which must be completed to finish the project. Okay, and if you say something is a project, it includes well-defined set of job and task. When too many jobs, more than one job, okay, it is integrated with each other and all that completed, we say it is a completion of a project. If you take for example like construction of bridge, highway, power plant, repair and maintenance of an oil refinery or airplane, or design, all those are an example of project where you perform various small tasks or job. Once you complete all the jobs and tasks, you say that it is a complete project, right? What is a project management? Project management is a discipline of organizing and managing resources in such a way that these resources deliver all the work required to complete a project within defined scope, time, and cost constraint. In simple, if you want to explain a project management, it is you manage everything so that things settle up or things get complete within the scope, within the time, and within the cost. That is what on the whole it is a project management, because managing a project is quite difficult compared to managing an operation, because operation is a continuous process. Once if we made mistake in some area, that we can rectify it in the next day, because it is a continuous thing. Any set of activity is going to be repeated to a number of times. But whereas project is a one-time activity where you have to put lot of effort in the planning phase so that things is executed well in the other phases. So project management where you organize and manage resources. Okay, you organize and manage available resources so that you're able to manage it within the scope, time, and cost, right? So this is all of introduction. In the project, managing the project in the planning space, estimating the project time is one of the important tasks. For that only we use techniques like CPM and PET. For both the techniques we need to draw or construct a network diagram of various activities involved in the project. Okay, that is what we are going to see. Elements of network diagram. When you want to draw a network diagram, okay, you need two elements. That is, one is events that we represent in circle, and the other one is activity that we represent in arrow. We all would have seen a network diagram where you have more than one or two circle connected with arrows. That is the network diagram. So the circle is represented as event and the arrow is represented as activity. Let us see in detail. Network construction events. So what is an event? An event in the network diagram represent project milestone. In the network diagram, the role of an event is just like a milestone in our journey, right? When we are going ahead of a particular place, we see different milestones at different level. This milestone gives us an idea of what distance is covered so far and what distance is ahead in our journey. Similarly, in a network diagram, this event gives us a picture of what are the activities is completed so far and what are the activities are going to follow. Generally, events are commonly represented by circle in the network diagram. As I have told you already, the events are represented in the circle form in a network diagram. Different events are identified by their numbers. Okay, when you have different events, you have so many circles in the network diagram. Each circle are identified by a number. The event can be further classified into following two categories, and also you have other names to address different types of event. Suppose there is a event, okay, which where three activities, see, one or more activities, it is not three or four or five, more than one activities merge at a particular event, then this particular event is known as merge event. On the other way, when one or more activities start from a particular event, then that particular event is known as a burst event. Okay, this is something you want to you should know basically about event. Next, numbering the events. So as I told, different events are identified by their numbers. Now, how should we number the events? That's very important. Events in the network diagram are identified by numbers. Each event should be identified by a number higher than that allowed to its immediately preceding event to indicate process of work. Okay. So here you have two events, event 1 and event 2. And you have one activity between the event. Okay. That is, this activity starts from event 1 and its end at event 2. Okay, so here this activity in this event indicates the starting of the activity and this event indicates the ending of the activity. So at any point, okay, the preceding event, this is known as the preceding event. Okay, that even at the beginning is known as preceding event. Okay, so this preceding event, okay, identify the number. So this, the other event should be identified by a number higher than the preceding event. So always an event which comes to be an end of the activity should have a higher number than that of a event which is at the beginning of the activity. That is the must you have to know. The numbering of events in the network diagram must start from either left to right or top to bottom. So, okay, you should always start numbering event from left to right or top to bottom. Care should be taken that there is no duplication in the numbering. Sometimes we may make mistake. Okay, when the numbers are very few, there is no chance for such mistake. But when we have so many events connected in a network diagram, we may make a mistake of repeating a number. Suppose here after 2, you're giving this event 4. No problem, nothing wrong, because as per our first rule, this is right, because the ending of the event number is higher than the starting of the event. Okay, again here giving 3, there is also no wrong, because the ending of this event is higher than the number than the starting of the event. And when you see here 3 to 4, there is no wrong, because the ending of the event is higher than the number than the starting of the event. But here we make a mistake that we have repeated a number, right, which is already being given to some other event. So we have to be careful in giving number to the events, that we are not repeating it again. Network activity. So now we have seen clearly about one part of a network diagram, that is event. Now we are going to see about activities. Activities in the network diagram represent project operations or tasks to be completed. As we have seen in the definition of the project, we see that set of tasks or job, well-defined set of job or tasks that completed is what we will say that is a project. So you have various activities or tasks in a project, and each activity or task is what each activity or each job or task is what represented as activities in network diagram. Each activity consumes time and resources and incur cost. So each activity, performing of each and every activity in a project consumes some time and consumes some resources, and it incurs cost. Okay. So every activity consumes time, resources and incurs cost. An arrow is commonly used to represent the activity with its head indicating the direction of the progress in project. So as we have seen earlier, okay, the arrow is used to indicate the activity where the head indicates the direction of the project. Okay, I have sometimes noted some of my students, when they know work out this problem, they fail to draw this head. Okay, they will simply draw line. All the problem will correct, but they will make mistake of using the arrow mark, because this arrow is very important. You cannot draw just a line between two circles. You have to draw arrow, because the head of the arrow indicates the journey of the activity. Direction. An arrow between two events. The tail of the event I represent the start of the activity, and head of the event J represent the completion of the activity. Okay, the tail is represented by I and the head is represented by J. So the tail indicates starting of the activities and J indicates the completion of the activity. Types of activity. First, predecessor activity. What do you mean by a predecessor activity? An activity which may be completed before one or more other activities. So an activity which is before a particular number of activities, before one activity or two activity or three activity, it is known as predecessor activity. Then successor activity. What do you mean by successor activity? An activity which satisfied immediately after one or more of other activities are completed. So any activity which follows some other activity, it is said to be successor activity. If you see this diagram, network diagram, here if you see this activity, that activity between 1 and 2 is before the activity of 2 and 3. Hence, this activity is a predecessor for this activity. Similarly, the activity 2 and 3 follows the activity 1 and 2. Hence, it is the successor of the activity 1 and 2. And one more type is dummy activity. Any activity which does not consume either any resources and or time. So, as I explained in the previous slide, I told you that every activity consumes time and resources and incurs cost. But sometimes an activity is drawn which doesn't consume any time, resources or cost, but it is drawn only to indicate the successor predecessor relationship between the events, between the activities. Then it is known as dummy activity. Okay, we'll see in detail about dummy activity. Dummy activity. A dummy is represented by dotted line in the network diagrams. So the dummy is shown differently by drawing a dotted line. A dummy activity in the network diagram is added only to establish the given precedence relationship among the activities of the project. Okay. This dummy activity is drawn only to show the precedence and successor relationship, but it doesn't consume any time, resources or cost. So that's why it is differently shown by a dotted line. You don't draw a normal line to represent a dummy activity. So what is the case in which you draw a dummy activity? When two or more parallel activities in a project have same head and tail. Sometimes when we see the input for a network diagram, we found that more than one activity is having same head and same tail, right? So if you see here, let us go one by one. See, first, if you have activity A, you don't have any predecessor. That means this is the first activity. So, as we know, when you draw an activity, we have to draw activity between two circles, between two events. Okay. So, activity A is, you doesn't have any predecessor. So, it starts as a circle and it ends at a circle. Then activity B has a predecessor of A. What that it indicates? Activity B starts at the circle where activity A completed. A is completed. Okay. This, it indicates what is this predecessor means, that is activity where B will start in a circle where activity A is completed. So this is the circle where activity A is completed. So from here we will draw activity B. What is that of C? C also having A as a predecessor. It means that C will also start at the circle where A is completed. Right. Now, what does for D? D will be started in a place where B and C completed. If you see, B is completed here, C is completed here. So it doesn't mean that you can draw two activity indicating the starting of D. You can draw only one activity. And as this activity B and C, they are very much similar. Both starts at A and both is the beginning of D. That is what, one or more parallel activities in a project. This is what we call it as parallel activity. See, it is parallel because it starts at a particular place, okay, and ends have to be ended at D, right? So when this is the case, you cannot draw a parallel line. Between two circles, there should be only one arrow, one activity. So in this case, what we will do, we will draw a dummy line from B to C, okay, or C to B. But in this case, we are going to draw from B to C. I will explain why. So we'll draw a dummy line B to C. So now in this circle, okay, it indicates that B is completed, okay, and C is also completed. So in this place we are drawing the circle D. So why we are not drawing the circle? We can, why don't we draw the dotted lines from C to B? Because if you see E, for E, B is the predecessor. Okay, so it means that B can be started when E can be started when B is completed. You need not to wait for the completion of C. Okay, immediately when B is completed, you can start E. Okay, immediately when B is completed, you can start E, but you can start D only after the completion of B and C. Okay, that's why in this network diagram, the dotted line is drawn from B to C. See, that is what the second category when you need a dummy. See, two or more activities have same, but not all of their immediate predecessor activities in common. Okay, so immediate predecessor activities are not common. See here, D also requires the completion of B and E also requires the completion of B, but B requires completion of both B and C, whereas E requires completion of only B. So in that case also you draw a dotted lines. Let's see one more example. Now we are completed till E to B. Now what about F? F starts in a place where D ends. F starts in a place where D ends. Okay. What about G? G start in a place where E and D ends. If you see, E ends at this place and D end at this place. So here it is in another line, a parallel line, and it is in another line. So where can we start? Where can we start G? Can we start at this place or can we start at this place? Because already F is started in this place. So what do? You draw a dummy line to E. Okay. So from here you can start G. Right? Okay, so now here in this place D is completed, E is completed, so E and D completed. From here we start G. Next H. Where do we start H? When F and G completed, okay, you start H. So here we don't need to draw a dummy line. Why? Because you don't have any other predecessor further. And in that case, what you can do, instead of drawing a separate event for G, you can make this G come here. Okay. So here, though in this case, those in the case of D and G, we draw a dummy line because for D you have B and C, but E you have only B, right? Similarly, here this is this case, and here you draw a dummy line because for G you have E and D, but for F you have only D. Okay, that is, so for certain activity you need the completion of two activities. In that case, you have to draw a dummy line. But one of that activity is individually a starting point for another activity. In that case, you should start it from there. So if you cannot start D from here, it means that D should wait for E completion. You should always show it separately because F can be started only, X can be started when D alone is completed. It need not to wait for the completion of E, whereas G can be started only after the completion of D and E. But in this case, you don't have any controversial entries or you don't have any further entries. So you don't need to draw a dummy line from G to F. You can directly connect the G to this circle. This is how you have to deal with dummy. This is just an example to tell what occasion you need to draw a dummy line. Okay, in the later part we will work out a detailed problem so that you get an idea where you have to use dummy line, right? Now numbering. Okay, as I told, you have to number from the left hand side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you see this activity, okay, 2 is greater than 1. Then if you see B, 3 is greater than 2. If you see C, 4 is greater than 2. If you see D, 5 is greater than 4. If you see E, 6 is greater than 3. If you see F, 5 is greater than 7 is greater than 5. If you see G, 7 is greater than 6. This is what you have to make sure when you are giving the number. Events and activities in a network diagram. So we have separately seen event and we have separately seen activity. So how this has to be appeared? First, activity A, if a single activity. How it has to appear? That is, activity A means from one circle to other circle. Activity A. Next, B must follow A. B must follow A means activity B is following at the following the activity A. How it should appear? A is completing at a circle. From that circle we will start B. 1, 2 and 3. Next, B and C must follow A. How to draw this? first we'll draw activity A. From this place you have two activities B and C. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next, C must follow A and B. Okay, after completion of A and B, we are going to start C. How that it will appear? See, first A, B. At this completion, C is being started. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next, C must follow A and D must follow A and B. Here, you're going to draw A, B, C and D, whereas C will follow only A. Okay, C will follow only A, where D will follow both A and B. How you have to draw? Right, first A, next B, right? Now C is following A, whereas D is following A and B. Now we have to draw a dummy here. D is following A and B, right? This is what the connection between the event and activities. Thank you, students. So this is the first part of the PERT and CPM. So that is constructing a network diagram. So in this video, I have explained you how to construct a network diagram. Followed by in the other videos, I will tell you about how to the rules for the network diagram. Then I will work out a problem of constructing network diagram alone. Then we will go to CPM and PERT step by step, because I just want to bring it elaborately to you. I have divided into different videos. I do have videos in the topic of management accounting. Kindly check it out and subscribe my channel. Thank you.